There's a popular image of the 21st century that technology, so both digital and screen technology, will greatly enhance human life for the better. And that means both in terms of power, like what we're able to accomplish, as well as the quality of our life. So we're going to be living more of the good life. We're going to have more happiness and blessing because we are able to enhance our lives through this technology. And the idea is, if you don't get on board with this technology, then you're just going to be left out in some way. You are going to not have the same power that other human beings have, and you're not going to have that same quality of life which they are able to enjoy because of the technology that they now can use in their life. The image that I have for this is the superhero Iron Man. And I haven't read the comic books themselves. I've watched the movies, watched them with my kids. And Iron Man, if you don't know him, is kind of a regular guy, but he puts on this suit made of iron, and the suit is basically a supercomputer, and he talks with the suit, and the suit has all these little gadgets that it can do, and the suit actually reacts to him and does all sorts of cool things that make him able to fight the villains and cook his toast. Well, the idea is that we will all kind of become like Iron Man as we use devices, as we integrate phones or tablets or laptops into our lives, that our abilities will be so enhanced, like Iron Man's, that we will be able to accomplish incredible things. And of course, as Stark does, Tony Stark, the character for Iron Man, he's got the good life. You know, he's rich. He's able to do all sorts of things, wonderful things with this technology. And I've been thinking about this image in particular with respect to ChatGPT and the other chatbot things, large language models, you know, the new stuff, the new technology. And I've been thinking about it with respect to our ability to think and read, and my own ability to think and read and then write. Because I'll just kind of state the obvious, what ChatGPT is good at doing as a tool, better than any other tool, is it can search the internet, read the internet, and it can then summarize what it's found, kind of write, sort of, in a somewhat coherent way. And it just far surpasses other tools' ability to do that. And it does it at a speed at which, I can't do that. It can do a D-level work at a speed which I can't even do D-level work. So very, very fast at doing that. And I'll admit that really is the big power that ChatGPT has, is that it can save time. But what is that going to do to us? I mean, anytime that you use a tool, it has an effect backwards, a formative effect on the person using the tool. So what is the effect that ChatGPT and using these things is having on us as readers, thinkers, and writers? Hey everybody, welcome to the Sanctus Forum. I am Michael Stewart Robb. Sanctus, we are about creating spaces for everyday theology and spirituality. And I've been gone for 2 weeks. This has been a 2-week drought on videos. There is a lot happening at Sanctus. I had a little bit of vacation time in there, and so I just haven't been able to do a weekly video. But hey, here we are today, thinking about ChatGPT, chatbot things, and its effect on us as thinkers and readers. And I've got two real ideas on this. The first idea is that I think that education and an entry-level work, which is a kind of education as well, that those first years of doing a job or a career, or maybe it's only months, when you're just doing pretty simple tasks and just trying to learn the job, those are going to be the most affected or most damaged by using ChatGPT and other large language models. The reason is this. Tools don't only make us stronger in that they enhance what we're able to do, they also can make us weaker. And by using a particular tool, we become unable at times to do something perhaps that's very, very basic, something that we may need to do. And this is something that you see especially in those learning phases of human life, when we are trying to develop skills that we need as human beings. I think of it with respect to a calculator. There's a reason why we don't give calculators to elementary school kids. We give them very basic math problems, and we make them sit there and use their tiny little minds to try to figure out these problems, which we have solved millennia ago. And we could hand them a calculator and teach them how to punch those buttons and get, well, the right answer. And in fact, they would get the right answer more often than they get it by doing it with their tiny little minds. The reason why we don't do that is because we are trying to teach kids a skill of thinking, of reasoning, which they need not really to solve those problems. We've solved them. And they're really not going to spend their life thinking about what 5 times 7 is. If they forget, they'll probably use a calculator at some point. But we are teaching them a kind of basic human skill of reasoning, of thinking through those basic math problems. And of course, at some point you just sort of say, hey, just use the calculator. But it's only after they've learned that particular skill. Now, with respect to a calculator, which is kind of really what ChatGPT is, with respect to language, it's the exact same thing. Those abilities to read and to digest information and to be able to weigh it and know what's the important parts and what are the unimportant parts, and then to be able to turn it around, summarize it coherently, those are very basic skills that we are teaching kids to do in those educational settings. And yeah, of course, we could just do it for them, and none of these basic texts that kids are using in schools are anything special. We pretty much throw them away when they're done with school because they're just practice work. They're teaching us, giving us skills, and that's one of the things where ChatGPT really can get in there and disturb those learning processes that are happening for beginning for schooling, kids in schooling, as well as entry-level positions. I think that there really should be almost like an age minimum for using these kinds of things. You need to be able to do certain types of skills before you start using these products, because tools don't just make us stronger, they also can make us weaker. In a previous video, I used the image of those motorized carts that they have at Walmart, and people who are having difficulty walking use them. But if you use the motorized cart when you could be capable of walking, you are only going to make yourself weaker. Now, the second idea that I have had about this ChatGPT and our abilities to read and think and to write, summarize, and all of that is this. A teacher once said to students, it's a teacher trying to get students to read the Bible rather than just listen to him as a Bible teacher. He was trying to get them to read it for themselves and to study it. And he said, hey, look, if I do the study, I get the benefit. If you do the study, you get the benefit. The question is, who really needs to benefit from the study of this particular subject matter? If I do the study, if I do the research, the reading on the internet or wherever it is to be found, I get the benefit of that. If ChatGPT does it, ChatGPT gets the benefit. All I get is the bottom line, and I don't actually get most of the benefit that's involved in doing that kind of research. Now, obviously, there are some cases where it doesn't really matter, and it doesn't matter. We already have the benefit when, I don't know, I'm looking for, say, a new camera lens, which I did yesterday, and I know I could go through and look through all the websites and listen to videos or blogs or whatever and try to find the camera lens that suits my needs right now. I've done that before. I don't really need to learn how to do that, and so I used ChatGPT to help me come to an answer more quickly. I don't really need to do that kind of work anymore in this particular case. The bottom line is this Iron Man image, so captivating for people today. I think even here in Bavaria, in Munich, where I live, we have this educational initiative, Digital School for the Future, Digitale Schule der Zukunft. And the whole idea is to get tablets into classrooms, get kids using this technology as soon as possible. Because if you don't, they're going to miss out on this Iron Man vision, and they're going to be incapable. The problem is, is it really true? Iron Man may actually turn out to be wimpy man. Very strong tool, very wimpy man. And if you're interested in this kind of thing, if you've made it all the way to the end of this video, then you should probably check out our other videos on reading and on thinking. You can find them on the YouTube channel page. And look at our almost monthly newsletter, Sanctus Institute, and then you'll hear more about the behind the scenes work of Sanctus. But until next time, bye. Yep, that's it.